if I were ever to date a car, I would date this one. This is the third generation of the most gorgeous car Mercedes Benz makes. This is the CLS in the 300D avatar. What's going on inside this bonnet is very, very smart, and we're going to talk you through about how this car looks. It is something out of automotive pornography. How this car feels to drive, glides over highways, and what's that extremely good technology which is going inside this package. Let's do it. Mercedes-Benz has kept silhouette of this third generation CLS reminiscent of the first generation. The second generation looked a bit edgy, a bit muscular. This one is smooth, it's curvaceous. It is something out of automotive pornography. The rear three quarters of the CLS were a talking point in most automotive group conversations. The first and the second generation cars had big tail lamps and it looked gorgeous. This one has slimmer tail lamps. It just makes the car look a bit more wider, more like a proper Grand Tourer, and I just absolutely adore it. The boot space of the CLS is pretty big. You can accommodate 2 large suitcases and 2 duffel bags. But then the spare wheel on top of the boot floor does take up some space, but then it's practical enough. You also have some underfloor storage. Also, this very nifty basket to keep your vegetables and other little things that move around a lot. Very practical, Mercedes-Benz. The CLS on the inside looks gorgeous. The use of beautifully carved materials, the shapes, the small details in this interior make it so ostentatious to be in and spend long hours. You've got this wonderful volcanic ashwood brown leather interior with some really precise stitching, 12.3-inch screens in the front, and this wonderful 2-hole steering wheel which has controls for multiple functions on your command screen and your instrument display. And it just makes you feel extra special. It makes you feel that you've spent your money in the right place. Brilliant. The backseat situation in the CLS is pretty amazing. You've got enough knee room. This seat is adjusted according to my height and size. I'm 5'8". There's good enough of headroom for an average size adult. The backrest angle is great. The under thigh support is wonderful. I can spend long hours inside this car. But what I'm solely missing is the adjustment for air conditioning over here, which is quite a bane in this price point. You've got a central armrest with 2 cup holders and a storage box with a very soft carpeting where you can keep your expensive phones and probably jewelry. There is no sunroof which is extending up till back, but then that is to accommodate the good headroom over here. It's a wonderfully spacious cabin, and it just feels special to be sitting inside this car, even in the back seat. The CLS 300D's engine is a 2-liter twin turbocharged 4-cylinder engine which produces 450 PS of power and 500 Newton meters of torque, which is good enough to pull this car from 0 to 100 in 5.6 seconds. Also, there is so much of engine insulation, be it on the hood and around the engine bay, that you can't hear the engine even at going at high speeds and high revs. That is a wonderful thing for a diesel engine in this segment. The CLS is a brilliant car to drive, and it's equally good doing long distances. It is a grand tourer, and it just shows in the way it glides over highways. It is based on the E-Class, but it makes you feel like you're sitting inside the S-Class. The materials inside the interior situation and the overall opulence of this cabin is wonderful. The fit and finish, the little things about this interior space is commendable. It really makes you feel special. The way it drives, it's great. It's well insulated from the outside. The noise cancellation is great. It feels very plush. We're currently in comfort mode, and the suspension soaks up the bumps on the road very well. It's got the air suspension as standard. The all-round visibility is good, although I would have wished the rear windscreen would have been a little larger. But overall, there is nothing to complain. This car feels genuinely good. The power at part throttle is great. It's very, very responsive. And when you're doing higher RPMs, if you're going full send mode in this car, you don't feel or hear the engine as much. It's very smooth, very refined. It's a wonderful, wonderful machine to live with on a daily basis. There are a lot of standard equipment given on this CLS sold in India. It's got 360-degree parking camera. It has the Burmester high-end stereo system which produces 1250 watt, and it's extremely good in terms of the audio quality. It has 64 color ambient light, although you can choose the shades on top and the bottom of the cabin differently. You can also do a color mix which changes the mood of the light as per the audio and the driving style. It's got brake and reach steering which is electronically adjustable. You have memory adjustable seats for both passenger and the driver. And these seats are so beautifully carved. They're so good, so comfortable. It just makes you feel cocooned inside them. You just cannot compare them with any other car in this segment. The cabin of the CLS is very, very practical. You've got 2 cup holders and a space to keep your mobile phone. The cup holders can accommodate your coffee cups and large-sized bottles. You've got an ample space for your wallet, your sunglasses and other things. And there is a big bottle holder on the door bins. This also has a very soft carpeting, just in case you buy those expensive steel or glass bottles to suit your taste. And there's something interesting going on in the headlamp cluster, which I would now demonstrate. So if you're watching this, this is the intelligent light system by Mercedes Benz. There's a Wagoner driving right in front of us, and around that area, the headlamp system inside Mercedes CLS, it just blacks out that particular area where it sees the other car coming towards us or it's going ahead of us, just so that the person driving ahead of us or coming towards us from the other side does not get the glare in their eyes. Now, if this car disappears, As you can see, there are more cars coming in. There are cars coming from the right, and it's creating a black patch. You can see it just works like a nice curtain, and it's so precise, and it's so wonderful to see that it does not glare the other person coming from the opposite side or going beside it. It's so comfortable on the road, especially in a condition like India, and it works perfectly in these situations. Just look at that. The intelligent light system is a standard fitment in the Mercedes Benz CLS. It's an LED light setup with multiple beams, and it scans the upcoming light sources through lasers. And as you can see, there's a light coming from the opposite side, and it has created a black modulus. It's so good. So the Mercedes-Benz CLS is an incredibly potent car. It looks beautiful, the interiors are opulent, but at 84.7 lakh rupees ex-showroom pan-India, it is a lot of money. It is very efficient indeed, giving us 20 kilometers to the liter from our road trip back from Agra to the western side of New Delhi. And for a grand tourer, that's a big thing. It is very powerful, it is incredibly agile, but the way it looks is priceless. And for that, I love this car.